All right, thanks for sticking around. Good crowd. How you guys doing, good?
I'm feeling great.
Breakpoint's crazy, huh?
It is.
All right, let's introduce these friends of mine here on stage. So I'm Josh Freed, head of Commerce BD at the Solana Foundation. And to my left is Anthony Torre. And to his left is Gonzalo Gutierrez. And I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves from there.
Cool. I'll go ahead and get started. My name's Gonzalo. I work on operations on Backpack and Mad Lads. So generally, anything that a developer would not do is what I work on. And that includes setting up the Shopify, creating the merch, and ultimately integrating Solana Pay.
My name's Anthony Torre. I'm the founder of Theo in Amelia. It's a fragrance brand that I created. All the scents are designed by places that I've been to around the world. I also focus on functional fragrances, which is going to be something a little bit more popular next year. And then Motivo Media is just like my metaverse consulting company.
Awesome. So we've got a Web3 native brand represented, a Web2 or traditional brand represented. Let's dive into a little bit about your brands and sort of what makes them tick, how they were born. You know, understanding your brands will help us understand what you need from an e-commerce experience. So let's start with your brands. I think, let's take a look at the slide here. Do we have slide access yet? I got a little brand image to bring up. Okay, well, we'll start with Mad Lads first, and I'll keep clicking until it comes up.
Sweet. Sounds great. Yeah, so...
No? Oh, okay.
Cool.
All right, well, you just Google Mad Lads.
Yeah, if you look up Mad Lads, you'll surely find it. So the story of Mad Lads really comes before Backpack, the wallet, the product was even created. Our founders really had this strong belief that the most impactful companies in the world are a combination of product and culture. And in order to achieve the product, we had a very strong vision with respect to Backpack, creating a new standard of NFTs called XNFTs, and ultimately creating a next-level crypto wallet. But on the side of culture, we really needed to, have these 1,000 true fans, or really 10,000 true fans. And that's where Mad Lads came in as a critical component of this company. And I guess that's how the start of Mad Lads, or how Mad Lads were ideated to be. But overall, the mint, the time that Mad Lads launched and minted was a very crazy time on Solana. It was near the bottom of the bear, and there was so much hype and enthusiasm that we actually brought down Cloudflare amongst other pieces of internet infrastructure. So that was a really great testament to the energy and enthusiasm behind the community.
Awesome. Anthony.
Yeah, mine's pretty straightforward. I've been working in digital channels my entire life, and I wanted something tangible. And then I discovered essential oils, and that turned into making things for myself, then for my friends, and for my families. And then I really started to nerd out about the science of scents, which I could talk about for hours. But it just helps me stay grounded between the two companies. So Motivo is my digital company, and then Theo Amelia is like the one that keeps me grounded physically.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit how e-commerce, and specifically Shopify, is important to your online presences. Let's start with you, Anthony.
So Shopify it basically runs my business. So e-commerce is most of my revenue, but then I also have a shop in Denver, and I use the Shopify POS on that. I just bought a vending machine. It's like a modern one. It's a big 32-inch touchscreen, so people can come there, test out my products, and then buy it from the vending machine. So I am trying to figure out a way to get Solana Pay onto that vending machine. But for now, it's 99% Shopify, which I'm mostly happy with. But there's a lot of things that they need to change. I think we've talked about it a few times. When they say that they integrate with Solana, it kind of made me a little upset because they still charge a 2% merchant fee. And that all goes to Shopify. It doesn't go to Solana. So if you're going to adopt technology, I feel like you should fully adopt it, especially when they put marketing materials out saying that we accept Solana.
Right. And our whole goal was fast, efficient, almost zero-cost payments. So.
Exactly. So like for me, my customers don't know what Solana is yet. So when they say, like, why would I pay for Solana on your website when I could just use my saved credit card? It doesn't make sense for them. But when I do pop-up shops or at the store, I'll give people like 10, 20% discounts if they use USDC.
Nice.
So I do see some success there, but I think more for Shopify Web3, Mad Lads.
Yeah, let's hear about how's Shopify for you guys.
Yeah, so really, for us, merch is a very important part of our community. It is, I mean, I think in general, like, merch is a great way for groups of people to identify themselves in public. And so at a conference like this, whenever
Like,
you see...
I don't know, the Fuck It shirt?
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you see someone with a Fuck It shirt or hoodie, you know that they know about Mad Lads, they probably use Backpack, and they're probably interested on the latest tech on Solana. But ultimately, Shopify for us was a way to distribute the merch to all of our holders. It seemed like it is the best way for us to capture everyone's address in like a safe and compliant manner, and ultimately ship the merch to them. And so for us, it was a very important part of delivering the merch to everyone.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, we built this extension, or Solana Labs built this extension so that you guys would have instant access to your revenue, right? Like, you get the USDC immediately. There's no intermediaries. It eliminates credit card fees and chargebacks and the long settlement times that you typically see with credit card payments. It sounds too good to be true, but what has your experience been? Is it true?
I would say absolutely, yeah. I mean, from the standpoint of like our Web3 native holders, users who already have Solana, already have a Solana wallet, they were asking for the Solana Pay integration from day one, even before Solana Pay had released it on Shopify, because I think there's also like a unit cost bias where like, oh yeah, one SOL for shipping versus 25 or 30 bucks for shipping, it feels a little bit different in the mind of an NFT degen or whatever. But overall, yeah, I think Shopify was like a very heavily Solana Pay on Shopify was a very heavily requested feature because it's so convenient to just be able to do everything through crypto for our Web3 native audience.
Sure. What about you?
Yeah, for me, it's more, like I said, it's the in-store or when I do the pop-up shops. I think that's where Solana Pay really helps me because I also tell merchants I'm using it because I'm not paying any transaction fees. And I get it right away. Like right now, Shopify, if somebody buys something on my website or through my POS, it's a minimum of 4 days before that money hits my bank.
Right.
Whereas Solana Pay, I get it right away.
But you were saying that you could really use some Web 2 awareness, right? Like if somebody like, I don't know, Taylor Swift decided to do her tickets through Solana Pay and USDC, that would help you out.
Yeah, I feel like the technology is already there, and especially for ticketing, I think that NFTs as tickets is going to be something huge. It's just going to take one celebrity or singer like Taylor Swift to make it happen, and then everyone's going to know what USDC is. People are going to know what NFTs are. So I'm just hoping that she's listening.
Yeah, she's on the live stream. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Nice.
So Gonzalo, you guys, the Mad Lads wrote a review in the Shopify App Store. I'm going to quote from it because it's pretty nice. Simplified our operations and boosted conversions. That sounds pretty good. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, if you look on our Shopify dashboard, admin dashboard, like quantity of sales over time, the day that we integrated Solana Pay and we announced it, there's like a huge spike, mainly because there were a bunch of holders who were waiting for this because they had the Solana, but they didn't have the available cash.
Right.
And in some cases, our shipping was a little expensive for certain countries, and that's where it was extremely preferable for people to pay in crypto and not have to use cash or whatnot. But overall, it became a very straightforward operation for the user because all that the user has to do is literally press pay, Solana Pay, and then the next page is literally a conveyor belt for them to just click and continue. And so we also saw that there were less issues with like fraud detections or things where like Shopify was trying to detect the validity of a transaction.
Right.
That just is not a concern at all when it's on the blockchain. So
awesome.
That was nice.
Oh, that's great news. Anthony, any success metrics or things that like how can you tell if sort of it's been working for you?
I'll take the little wins. If someone comes into my shop and I say like you could pay with USDC and they know what it is.
They know what USDC is, yeah.
I'll take it. I mean, to me right now, like with my customer base, like that's success to me.
Yeah, it's early days.
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting over here and we're gradually moving people over here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. The Labs team also put together some really cool reference implementations. If you go to our Shopify Solana Pay documents, where they envision things that you could ultimately do, like token gating offers or giving USDC back to customers or generating an NFT with every purchase. These are the kinds of ideas that we dreamed up, but obviously we just put them out in the world and we're seeing if people pick up on them and implement them. Have you guys implemented any of these things, or have you thought about doing some of those things, or are there other loyalty-like components that you'd like to see implemented?
I personally haven't implemented the ones from Solana because they're pretty similar to ones that are already available on Shopify, who kind of have like a proven track record. But I definitely would like to see more like innovative features using blockchain instead of just creating the same things on blockchain that are already on Web 2. Like, we really need to create things that actually add additional value.
That you could only do, let's say, on Solana, right?
That you could only on Solana.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I kind of want developers to think about is don't just copy Shopify apps that you see in the App Store and say, okay, well, let's just put it on Web3, slap a blockchain badge on it, and then people are going to come. You got to remember that people find it inconvenient to turn their phones horizontally to watch videos on social media. Yep. You're not going to spend 20 minutes to figure out why your app is better on blockchain than a traditional Shopify app.
That's true. Gonzalo, what about you guys? Have you thought about implementing any of these loyalty pieces yet?
Yeah, we definitely have taken a look, and I think at this moment we're not going to implement any of the loyalty-specific pieces because we have our own loyalty program for the Mad Lads. However, that being said, we might look into connecting the existing loyalty program with Shopify, Solana Pay integrations, and see if there's something that we could pull together there.
Got it. All right, well, let's think beyond what we, in our little echo chamber dreamed up and put into the reference implementations. There's a lot of devs out there in the audience today and on the live stream with Taylor. So I'm sure they're going to build like the next great commerce features set if you just tell them what you want. So what would you guys love our devs to see to grow your business on Shopify or elsewhere?
I mean, I have a list of probably 50 features. So if anyone's
we have time for 3.
I'll be at the DPIN event. I think it's on the 2nd. So this is basically why I came, is because I'm looking to integrate hardware and software. So one thing that I would really love for devs to build is just rethink the vending machine business. I don't think that industry has innovated very much in the past 50 years. I do have a vending machine at my shop, and I've already run into 30 problems. And I'm like, this could be fixed using blockchain, or this could be cheaper. For example, it's a 6% transaction fee for most vending machines. I mean, that's just
ridiculous.
That's a lot. So I got mine down luckily, but if you're selling like $2 pops or something like that, you're paying 6%.
Right.
So vending machine software, top to bottom, and hardware. The second one is I really think we need a Shopify alternative. As much as I love them, I think we need to rethink the whole process because there's a lot of features on the blockchain that will make my life easier, especially if you add in a layer of AI that automates a lot of things for the business. And Shopify has shareholders to appease.
Right.
I brought up my beef with them with the 2%. Like, if you're going to adopt something, like, fully adopt it.
Yeah, go all in.
Just go all in. It's like, if I'm going to go adopt a kid and I go in and sign the contract saying, well, I only want to adopt a kid from Monday through Friday, so I can have my weekends free still. Like, that's just not going to fly.
No, that's not how it works.
And that's kind of like what I feel Shopify did. So if they're listening, just please get rid of that 2%.
We'll forward them the videos.
Thanks.
Gonzalo?
Yeah, I think one really killer product on Shopify would be the ability to connect your wallet and, based on what NFTs you hold, to be able to get gated access to particular products and merchandise. This is actually what we did for our Shopify store originally. We airdropped NFTs to our holders, who were then able to redeem them through the Shopify storefront. However, there's a lot of improvement that can be done on that user experience. And so any dev who would be interested in doing that, we would definitely be open to working with them as well.
All right, let's speak to the merchants that might be out there listening. I'm sure there's some who might be uneasy to jump into sort of the throes of Web3 commerce. What would you like to say to the merchants out there, especially given that there is a strong ecosystem here, and if you adopt something like Solana Pay, like that ecosystem comes with it, those fans come with it. What do you think?
For merchants, I would say it's just better to get in now, spend 10 minutes a day for 3 days. I would download just Coinbase Wallet, Phantom Wallet, practice sending money to yourself, because I think as merchants, that's where we're really going to see the innovation first, is like payments and POSs and getting money from people from wallets. So start there. I know like the media makes the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology seem super confusing, which it is if you get down a rabbit hole. But just start with a wallet, 10 minutes a day for 3 days, and I think you're
don't become Blockbuster, right?
Do not become Blockbuster. Yeah, innovate or die.
Yeah. What do you think, Gonzalo?
Yeah, I think what I would tell merchants is that there is a very active side of the internet, a very engaged portion of the internet that has a relatively high income and relatively high brand loyalty that would absolutely embrace a Solana Pay integration within their storefront, especially if they were to promote it through Twitter. I think that's important. If they just integrate it but don't tell anyone, then there's not going to be the rallying cry. I would also add that onboarding onto Solana Pay as a merchant literally takes 7 minutes if you have a wallet. Like I would say 2 minutes really if you want to speed run it, or maybe even 30 seconds. But if you want to take your time and make sure everything is correct, it literally takes 5 minutes. So I don't think there's much of a time investment there for folks to try it out and see what it's all about.
Yeah, and then you have a whole army of devs that's going to build the next great feature set. So might as well let them be your developing core, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So as 2024 comes into focus, what can we look forward to from each of your brands? Let's start down there with Mad Lads.
Yeah. So for those who may not know, today we had a really big announcement on the backpack side. We announced that Backpack will be launching an exchange. We are licensed in Dubai, and so really this is the next evolution for the product side of our business. Of course, one thing we haven't yet mentioned is how exactly will the Mad Lads and the exchange be connected, and so that's some bit of information to look forward to both at our Mad Lads party on tomorrow or at Armani's keynote on Thursday. But overall, I would say we're just getting started. There's a ton to build, and the Mad Lads vision is just getting started. Fuck it.
So for Theo and Amelia, you could expect a lot of story playing experiences. It's kind of like a term I've been telling myself. It's the next level after storytelling. So instead of just telling people the story behind your brand, they get to live it and be part of it. For example, all my fragrances are named after places I've been to. One is the Dolomites. So I want to create these experiences in VR, AR, where people actually get to live and see where these places are. And what really inspired the fragrances. So story playing is a huge factor in 2024. Next-gen vending machine, that's going to happen. NFT collaborations where certain people can only buy the fragrances for certain communities.
Okay.
What else? I think that's really the top 3.
Do you have any fragrances that are Amsterdam inspired? I'm almost afraid to ask.
It would be very wet,
yeah.
very aquatic, very...
Yeah.
I'll think on that.
I was thinking something else, but Amsterdam's known for,
So is Denver.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So, I live in Denver, so it's the same.
We would call that the Denver fragrance.
Denver. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. All right. We are a little bit ahead of schedule here, but you guys have spent a wonderful day with us, and we want to let you go to happy hour or dinner or wherever you need to be. So I just want a big round of applause. Thank you to my merchants here from Mad Lads and Theo and Amelia. And thanks for being a great crowd. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right.